entertainmentbuddha.com.
So Blacksite Area 51 is a first-person shooter that came out in 2007, developed by Midway Austin and published by Midway, and running on the Unreal Engine 3 that was used for Stranglehold. You know, that game that certainly nobody has forgotten about. The game received mediocre reviews from just about every magazine and website at the time, and the designer Harvey Smith publicly stated that the game's development schedule was the cause of the game's poor reception. He said that they were unable to test the game properly, and after that statement came out, he was fired from Midway. Cheery history for a game, eh? Now, I know the backstory to this game is setting it up to be Game of the Year, but, you know, you can't look at it too negatively. I mean, maybe the game's not totally broken. Maybe it's not completely awful.
You boys are in some serious trouble with Colonel Green. You better say goodbye to your ass.
You guys tore it up down there. I missed out. Everyone button down and hang on. Apparently this guy just got his wings.
Alright, you want to take a shot at flying this thing?
No way. I never drive sober. Let's go. Let's go, Pierce. We're lifting off.
I was just kidding. It's actually completely and totally awful, and if I could get my money back for it, I would, but trading in this game would probably net you all of... Actually, no, you'd probably have to pay somebody else to take this game off your hands. It's so fucking bad. Why'd I ever buy it? Why? Now, I know, this looks like the best game you've ever played, but think about it. Halo 3 and Call of Duty 4 came out the same year as this game. It never stood a chance in the market. Let's find out why. The story for Blacksite is pretty bland and boring. While it tries to come off as gritty, edgy, and dark, it just comes off as corny, unoriginal, and overly political.
When they tell you they destroyed your cousin, they think you're going to throw a fit. Then they're going to send some special ops to gun you down the street. And they don't want you complaining about that before they pull it, okay? You're going into slavery. We're all going into it unless we speak up and fall. By the way, a year before they visited him, I said, you're going to get a vision. He laughed.
Oh, no, I can't take any more, man. Come on, turn it off.
The main silent character is Aaron Pierce, spelled fucking stupid in the name of trying to be original, and he could be replaced by literally anybody and the story wouldn't change at all. He says nothing the whole game. The story starts off in a prologue in Iraq, with Aaron and his squad trying to infiltrate a refinery facility looking for bombs or some bullshit like that. One of the squad mates is Grayson, and he's the America dude that wears a bandana instead of a helmet and was probably born in Texas. The other guy, Summers, is the I got a bad feeling about this guy. And you three kill a bunch of terrorists and infiltrate the refinery with one Dr. Weiss in tow. You start to happen upon these deformed creatures that in no way resemble the Flood. You eventually stumble upon a giant glowing alien crystal, and Summers, being the moth of the group, can't help but touch the damn thing and knock everybody out with some kind of weird alien, I don't know, something or other. You wake up and Weiss is dragging you out of the room, with Summers still in the room fending off alien creatures. Weiss decides there's no time and locks Summers in the room while you both escape. You run outside and a giant worm comes out of the ground. You shoot the shit out of it, it dies, and you escape via helicopter. The end. The rest of the story is lots of nothing mixed in with a shitload of small firefights and some bad attempts at being scary or intimidating. Long story short, you find Summers, and he looks like more of a pedophile than usual, and turns out he betrays you and that he's one of those reborn soldiers that you've been fighting for the whole game. And he hates that you left him to die. Reasonable, I guess. The Reborn try to take over the U.S. by spreading their spores in some big green hurricane because George Bush is evil and the government is experimenting on homeless people and criminals. Seriously, I think that this story was written by some kid in student council with way too much time on his hands. The gameplay is pretty standard stuff. It's a first-person shooter with some quote-unquote squad tactics bullshit that they probably threw in at the last second to try to have some kind of selling point to their game. Basically, by pressing a button, you can tell your squad members to grab a hold of a turret, focus fire on one enemy, get in a vehicle, etc. This would be okay if Mass Effect hadn't come out literally a week later and done the whole squad mates thing a lot better. Aside from that, it's just standard first-person shooter stuff, but it's just like one step under every other good first-person shooter. The look sensitivity makes me feel like either someone poured maple syrup into the joints in my neck and shoulders, or I drank an extra-large coffee sweetened with cocaine. What I mean is that it's either really slow below like 4 sensitivity, but 4 and above it's really twitchy and not smooth at all, and that pretty much renders the sniper rifle fucking useless. And speaking of weapons, there are 6 in the whole game. 6 fucking guns. There's an assault rifle that you start every mission with, and you'll never want to drop it because it's basically the only not useless gun. A pistol that makes Halo 3's Magnum look like a dream. An alien shotgun that can be charged and shoots bouncy, glowing yellow bullets that's somewhat useful but can't be fired very fast. There's a basic rocket launcher that you usually only find right before or during a boss fight, and it can lock onto weak spots and is absolutely essential to killing any big alien. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to call them by their proper name, Xeno. Back to weapons. There's the aforementioned sniper rifle that's hard as hell to aim and takes what feels like a friggin' century to reload. Quickscoping not an option. Lastly, there's one more alien weapon, and it shoots big glowy balls that kill anything they touch and explode when they hit a surface with a very small blast radius. It's the next best gun besides the assault rifle, but you don't really start seeing it until the very end of the game. There's also turrets in some areas, basic machine guns that have infinite ammo and don't reheat and have more spread than the shotgun. Now, though it's not a gun, I gotta mention the fucking grenades in this game because they are the most angry, pissed off grenades I've ever seen. These grenades explode if they touch anything that is not a wall or a ceiling. They touch enemies, they explode. They touch allies, they explode. They touch fucking boxes, they explode. Don't touch the grenades, don't even throw them. They might come in contact with your skin and blow your shit up. The last bit of gameplay I haven't touched on is the driving, and oh, if only the government had vehicles for our troops with this kind of acceleration and traction, we'd be unstoppable. These cars go from 0 to 60 in They also need to be flipped when they're not upside down, which is awesome. You thought this shit was bad? Just wait, there's more. Now, like I said before, this game runs on the Unreal 3 engine, and when you stand still and do nothing in the game, it doesn't look half bad. The problems start as soon as you pick up a controller and do anything. The frame rate drops into like negative double digits in bigger firefights or boss fights, and sometimes even just in cutscenes where people are sitting and talking. I swear the cutscenes are longer than they're supposed to be solely because of the frame rate issues. Worse than that are the textures and the color palette, which ranges from gray to light gray to dark gray to beige and dark green, and looks like someone shot the colors out of a cannon into a bunch of different surfaces and said, voila! And that is when the game decides that it's ready to load itself so that you can actually keep playing. Oh, what's that? You want to keep playing? Hold on. Alright, there you go. Basically, the game looks like poop most of the time. The sound in the game isn't exactly AAA either. The guns don't sound good at all. The assault rifle sounds like a fart gun. All the guns feel weightless, weak, and the melee attack makes me feel like a 3-year-old backhanding Mike Tyson in terms of sound, even though it's mostly a one-hit kill. The vehicles sound like they need a serious tune-up for being government issued.
Yeah, off-road, baby.
The aliens don't sound scary at all. And the only sound in the game I thought sounded cool was the grenade explosion. This game went all over the place when I was playing it, with all the bugginess and the glitches and stuff popping in. Here's just a few examples of things that made me scratch my head in confusion.
Sorry, sir.
Biology itself has changed.
You might have noticed. I'm told the weather is spreading the spores all over the...
I would show you everything that made me want to erase my own memory, but that may be another video for another time. The controls are twitchy, the driving is atrocious, and takes up way too much time in the beginning of the game, I might add. This game took me a little under 4 hours to beat, and you can pretty much bum rush all the enemies in the game. The difficulty spikes a little in the very end with the fight against Summers, and when you go toe-to-toe against him, you're stuck in this tiny round room with no cover while he jams his alien laser gun up your ass. Just keep running in circles and shooting him and hope to God he misses you, and don't throw a grenade lest you have a death wish and want to start all over again. Just don't play this game, not even out of sick curiosity. Don't waste your money. Just don't. This game does not deserve my company. Go. Embrace the cold where you belong.
entertainmentbuddha.com